FET324 TechnologyElement. In order to enable uninterrupted playback of a 1.2 megabyte audio data, it is encoded at a speed of 64 kilobits per second, while the data is downloaded through a network at a communication speed of 48 kilobits per second. At least how many seconds of data should be buffered before the playback is started? Is it A, 150 seconds, B, 50 seconds, C, 200 seconds, or D, 350 seconds? So let's have a look at the concept of buffering and also the unit conversion that we'll need to proceed with the calculation. A buffer is a temporary holding area for data while it's waiting to be transferred to another location. The concept of the buffer was developed in order to prevent data congestion from an incoming to an outgoing port of transfer. As far as the unit conversion, as encoding speed and communication speed are represented in bits, while size of audio is represented in bytes, we get below a conversion of both encoding speed and communication speed in bytes. From unit conversion, we know two things: that 1 byte is equal to 8 bits, and that 1 megabyte is equal to 1000 kilobytes. Here we use, from the question, 1.2 megabytes is equal to 1200 kilobytes. Let's look at the conversion between bits and bytes further. The encoding speed from the question is going to be equal to our 68 bits per second divided by 8 to give us our answer in kilobytes per second. Here we have an encoding speed of 8 kilobytes per second, and our communication speed is equal to 6 kilobytes per second. The conversion of everything in the units of bytes gives the total encoding speed of 8 kilobytes per second and the communication speed of 6 kilobytes per second. On the other hand, the time required for encoding 1.2 megabytes of audio is 1200 kilobytes divided by our 8 kilobytes per second. This gives us 150 seconds, and that's the time required for encoding. The time required for downloading will be slightly longer, as we have a slower speed. Downloading 1.2 megabytes of audio data at the rate of 6 kilobytes per second and using our 1200 kilobytes from the question gives us 200 seconds as our time. Therefore, it is clear that the downloading time is 50 seconds longer than the encoding time. For playback to be uninterrupted, it is necessary to simultaneously complete downloading and encoding. For them to be simultaneously completed, 50 seconds of data buffering is required before the playback is started. Therefore, B is the correct answer for this question. As we mentioned on the previous slide, the answer is B. In this video, what we've looked at is the concept of buffering and how this can be used to prevent interrupted playback. We've also looked at unit conversion to help solve questions.